Be a buyer if you want to sell. Hi, this is Tina Leader, the Conscious Closer, and I help heart centered entrepreneurs close their prospects over the phone and in person. Today, we're talking about being a buyer in order to sell. What this ultimately comes down to in my head is that you need to expand your comfort zone. When I was 22 years old and I was in college and decided to start a business because I just thought it was so cool after reading the 4 Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss. And even though I knew nothing about business or accounting or systemizing besides what I read in the book, I just decided this is the path for me, right? And so I contracted with different city centers and all of that, and I had different classes throughout Los Angeles. At one point, I had 100 classes going on every single week. And it was a lot for me to manage. There was a cash flow problem. I really didn't know what I was doing, managing the different dance teachers and the customers that were coming in and out in different sessions, and you had to plan so much ahead of time. And I was just really at a loss and super stressed out. And I knew I needed some sort of guidance. I tried to seek in different places, but I did come across Marie Forleo on YouTube. And I got to know her after watching her videos, just like binge watched. And it turned out she had this program called B School. And it came out at a certain time every year. It was the time when I was watching her stuff and I was thinking about needing some sort of help, some sort of guidance. I didn't know what that would look like or anything like that, but it seemed like the perfect fit. But I was really nervous and really reluctant because the program, at least at the time, was $2,000. And to me, I never spent $2,000 at once before. Never. The most I spent was $600 on college books, right? Because I was on a grant, so I didn't even pay for college tuition. So to me, 2K was the most I've ever spent. And who knows if this girl, she looks like she knows what she's talking about, but I don't know. I don't know her. I don't know what her program's about. But I was so desperate, honestly. And I really knew I had to do something because I knew if I didn't change something, then it would just be it. And honestly, my company would just crash because I had no idea what I was doing and I was so overwhelmed and I was doing it all by myself. So I decided to purchase the program when my cash flow was down, by the way. So I had to put it on credit card. And I was so nervous about it, but it turned out to be a wonderful program and I really loved it and definitely got my ROI on it. But I wouldn't have known that beforehand, right? I had to take that first leap. And after I took that first leap, it did something to my subconscious, right? Without me seeking to do that, it just did. Because when I hear of a program that's 2K now and it offers the kind of value that Marie Forleo offered, I'm thinking in my head that's too low. There must be something wrong with the program because why would a program only be 2K? Okay, you're making all these promises, but it's only 2K? That seems a little bit low. So now my skepticism is coming because 2K is too low. When before 2K was really high, right? So my comfort zone changed rather quickly because I became a buyer. And it wouldn't have happened if I decided, no, 2K is too much, I'm not going to purchase it. And then I just kept going at where I was at. It wouldn't have happened. And so until I became a buyer, I I couldn't have known first the experience, right? Because you develop that empathy when you hear a prospect on the phone or in person that this seems like a lot. This is a lot of money to me. And you can empathize with that because even though you know it's not a lot because they're going to get their ROI, you feel for it because you've been there, right? And you can't fake that because when somebody's talking to you, and this happened recently where I was like, all right, I'm going to be honest. This is what happened to me, and I know exactly where you're at. It's just really coming from that place of genuine, heart centered empathy. And when you can connect to somebody on that level, on that deeper level, that's when you can take them on a journey to where they are and where they ultimately want to be. It comes down to your moral responsibility. It is your moral responsibility to help them. And you can't do that if you don't have your own oxygen mask on. You can't put on the other person's oxygen mask if your own oxygen mask is not on, right? The airplane, whatever the instructions that happen beforehand, you have to work on yourself first. You have to work on yourself first. Because if your mindset, your vibration is so low and your mindset is in a poverty mindset, that's not on the prospect. And they're going to feel it too. But it's not on them. Yet, because of your low vibration and your low mindset, they're not able to go to the place where they want to be because you essentially blocked it. You are a blocker of their dreams. That's your responsibility. As a person who's closing on the phone, that is literally your responsibility. You are responsible for their lives right now. And I'm not trying to be over dramatic because oftentimes when we're talking about high ticket products or services, what you're offering is a life-changing offer. It's solving some sort of deep-rooted problem, or it's bringing them to where they really, really want to be, but for some reason they're not able to get there, right? So if you're not able to take them on the journey, I would say don't even get on the phone because you're doing them a disservice. And who knows, maybe because you're on the phone and you have that low vibration and that low mindset that they decide that they're never going to try again. And you just killed their dreams and their hopes because of where you were at. Now, if it turns out that their mindset is so low, and even though you're at this higher mindset, that's not on you. But if it's because of what you're projecting out there based on your lower belief systems and your lower values, that is on you. And you have the responsibility to raise that mindset and raise that vibration. Now, practical tips on doing that is simple things like if there's a high-end restaurant that you're afraid to go to, or let's say you don't even want to spend money, okay? You can go and sit at the lobby of a high-end hotel. Like go to the Ritz Hotel, and just sit in the lobby and get used to that environment. Go to a Lamborghini lot or whatever lot that you want, Porsche or whatever. Get used to that environment. Go to a Chanel store, right? Go to a Prada store. Whatever environment that you feel uncomfortable with because of the wealth, and I'm only mentioning this because wealth is often the problem, but I mean this in even social circles. If you feel very confident in one social circle, but just in this one, I don't feel good enough. If it's I don't feel good enough in this social environment, you better go to that social environment, right? If you don't, in business networking events, especially with me because I'm younger, right? In the beginning, I felt, wow, I'm so young because I was told that, right? And it was lowering my mindset. Yeah, I don't know what to offer and all this stuff. And then they can feel that. They can feel it. But once I started to go more and close my mouth and just listen and really engage in these people and really try to feel comfortable in this environment, eventually they're all my friends and I feel totally comfortable in that environment. But you bet I didn't feel comfortable before. I had to expand that, right? And in order to expand it, I had to be in that environment, put myself there in order to get comfortable again. And it doesn't mean that you can't be here, you have to always be here and go to a higher level, whatever that means. I like Richard Branson because he's the ultimate example of being comfortable everywhere, right? If you follow him at all, he will be super comfortable in doing all these like water sports, these like camping, doing all these hardcore stuff, right? Environmental like stuff. And but then at the same time, he is a billionaire businessman. And he's very comfortable and eloquent in these type of high-end environments, right? You can have it all. It's not a matter of don't be here, you have to be here. It's just a matter of being comfortable in different environments. It's just keep expanding, keep learning, keep meeting new people. This is why people love to travel, just to expand their comfort zone, right? All right. So that is why you need to be a buyer in order to sell. Ultimately, because expanding your comfort zone is where it's at, and you really have the moral duty and responsibility to take that journey of the prospect that's on the phone. It is your responsibility, and you have to take that very, very seriously. Let me know what you think about today's topic, which is being a buyer in order to sell. I'd like to hear, comments about it, how you feel about it. Some might disagree with my philosophy. I'd really like to know. Please comment below, like and share, and I will see you on the next episode.